That protein bar you grabbed at the checkout cost the brand 6 cents to make. 6 cents in ingredients. You paid $4.50. That is a 7,400% markup on oats, sugar syrup, and a spray of artificial flavor. Not on technology, not on medicine, on a snack bar. And the wrapper says, clean eating. Here is how the ingredient list actually breaks down. The primary components of almost every best-selling protein bar on the market are oats or rice crisps, some form of sugar, usually glucose syrup, tapioca syrup, or brown rice syrup, a protein isolate, a flavor compound, and a binding agent like glycerin. That is the product. That is what is inside the foil. Commodity prices are public. Rolled oats cost roughly 2 cents per bar's worth. Glucose syrup, another cent. Whey protein isolate, the ingredient brands love to lead with, costs about 2 cents per serving at bulk wholesale. Flavoring and binding agents, 1 cent. Total, 6 cents of raw material. The rest of that $4.50 is something else entirely. Manufacturing adds cost, but not as much as you'd think. These bars are produced on shared co-manufacturing lines in facilities that run dozens of brands back to back. The actual cost of mixing, pressing, cutting, and wrapping a bar, including labor and energy, runs between 12 and 18 cents per unit at scale. So now you're at roughly 24 cents all in before it leaves the factory floor. Then comes packaging. And this is where it gets deliberate. The foil pouch, the matte finish, the embossed logo, the resealable edge. That wrapper costs more to produce than the food inside it. Premium packaging on a mid-tier protein bar runs 8 to 14 cents per unit. The brand is spending more on the thing you throw away than on the thing you eat. That is not an accident, because the wrapper is doing the real work. It is carrying words like high protein, no artificial colors, gluten-free, naturally flavored. Each of those phrases has a legal definition loose enough to drive a truck through. Naturally flavored means the flavor compound was originally derived from a natural source at some point in a long industrial process. The end molecule can be identical to a synthetic one. The label is not lying exactly. It is just not telling you what you asked. Now follow the money from the factory gate to your hand. The brand sells to a distributor at roughly 60 to 70 cents per bar. The distributor takes a cut, typically 15 to 20%, and sells to the retailer at around 80 cents. The retailer, your gym, your petrol station, your supermarket, marks up between 80 and 150%. That is how a 24-cent bar arrives in your hand at $4.50. The retailer alone captures more margin than the entire cost of making the product. And the brand is fine with that retailer margin, because placement is everything. The checkout lane, the gym counter, the eye-level fridge at the coffee shop. Brands pay slotting fees to be there. A major protein bar brand can spend between $2 and $5 million a year just on placement fees across a national retail network. That cost gets baked back into the price you see on the shelf. You are paying for the location of the bar, not the bar. Then there is the protein number itself, the one printed large on the front panel. 20 grams of protein sounds significant, but the source of that protein matters more than the quantity. Many bars use a blend of whey concentrate, soy protein isolate, and collagen peptides. Collagen is the cheapest of the three and the least useful for muscle synthesis. It lacks essential amino acids, but it counts toward the protein gram total on the label. Brands choose the blend that hits the number at the lowest possible cost. The sugar situation is equally precise. Bars marketed as low sugar often contain 3 or 4 different sugar sources: glucose syrup, inulin, erythritol, tapioca fiber, none of which hit the threshold that forces the word sugar to appear high on the ingredient list individually. Spread across enough separate entries, they stay buried. The bar tastes sweet because it is sweet. The label does not reflect that because it does not have to. Here is what the marketing budget looks like. The protein bar industry in the US alone is worth over $6 billion. The top brands spend between 20 and 30% of revenue on marketing. Athletes, influencers, gym sponsorships, podcast ads. Some of that is legitimate brand building. But when a bar's marketing spend per unit exceeds its ingredient cost by a factor of 10, you are not buying nutrition. You are buying a feeling of buying nutrition. The catch is that the feeling is the product. The clean eating positioning is the most expensive ingredient of all. When a brand repositions an oat bar as a wellness product, it moves from the competitive commodity aisle, where a box of 16 bars costs $3, into the premium single-serve category, where a single bar costs $4.50. Same oats, same sugar. Different story told by the wrapper. The price is not a function of what is inside. It is a function of where the brand has placed itself in your mind relative to your aspirations. And the aspiration is calibrated carefully. These bars live in a specific gap. They feel healthier than a chocolate bar, but more convenient than cooking. That gap is worth a lot. Brands know that when you are tired, rushed, or standing at a checkout, the heuristic is high protein equals healthy equals worth paying for. The bar is engineered to occupy exactly that mental slot. The ingredient cost is irrelevant to the pricing decision. What you are willing to pay is the only number that matters to them. So here is the counter move, and it is simple. A 1 kilogram bag of whey protein isolate, the same isolate inside that bar, costs around $30 to $40 at any supplement retailer. That is roughly 1 to 1.2 grams of protein percent. The bar delivers 20 grams of protein for $4.50, so you are paying 22 cents per gram of protein. From the bag, you are paying 2 cents per gram. The bar is 11 times more expensive per gram of the one ingredient it is selling you on. The actual cheap, fast, high-protein snack that costs less than 50 cents to prepare. Greek yogurt, a scoop of oats, a spoon of peanut butter. The macros are comparable. The ingredient cost is real. There is no foil wrapper charging you for its own matte finish. The protein bar industry has done an extraordinary job of making people feel that convenience justifies a 7,400% markup. It does not. The convenience is 30 seconds of choosing not to open your fridge. None of this means every bar is a scam. Some products carry genuine R&D, real quality control, honest sourcing. But the pricing hierarchy in this industry is not driven by ingredient quality. It is driven by branding tier, placement fee, and the width of the aspiration gap. The 6-cent bar at $4.50 and the 40-cent bar at $4.50 are often made on the same line. The difference is the story on the wrapper. Now you know how much that story costs and who is paying for it.